So I'm live in my bedroom at twilight, guzzling Inca Cola, everybody's favorite treat in South America. I think it tastes like nuclear gorilla pee. I mean, what I imagine nuclear gorilla pee might taste like with sugar added. It's not real good. Well, I don't think it's good. I know everybody else loves this. Hey, I am Suzanne Tutkemeyer. Used to be of No Longer Quivering from Pathos. I wrote for them for some years. Um, Not writing for them now, doing my own thing. I wanted to add to the thing I said the other day about how to handle these emails and things we're all getting, and to add to what Emily says. Emily D. Baker today was on a live stream with Sherelle, who I happen to think the world of. I like Sherelle. Silly reason I posted all those copies of the chat between Katie Joy Paulson and I, where she lied about Sherelle. I have those up at my personal blog, which I will link to them below. She was on there with Little Red, and there was another lovely lady that was on there too. I didn't catch the name. It was like one word name. It was not somebody that I was that familiar with. Somebody obviously who had some doings or going ons with various trolls. Emily said something today that was just so important that I just spent the afternoon doing it. Emily suggested that if you're getting hack attacks and emails and things, you start keeping a log of what's going on. Fortunately for me, I just bought a pile of new notebooks here. So I set one up and I've started documenting things. I've set up files on my computer where I take screen caps of these things. The emails, I'm going to do headers. I reactivated my Suzanne Kalulu email box because this is where all the threats are going and all the crazy stuff. Every day I get at least 10 to 15 attempts to get into my computer or to send me a virus or to sign me up for things I have no possible use for. Today it was People Magazine. Somebody signed me up for People Magazine. So I did headers and all this crap, contacted whoever had to be contacted. I made screen caps of everything and I'm saving them. I would suggest the same. If you are having harassment that you think might not be related to the whole Katie Joy, Taffy Westbrook thing, you think that you're being pressured not to cooperate with Salty, not to give a statement, not to be a witness, I would suggest you setting up. Go look at the video. I'm going to link to below by Sherelle, where Emily explains exactly how to do that. I think that is the smartest thing any of us can do at this point. It's what I'm going to be doing. I'm also going to be running through an email header program that was developed at 419 Eater. I have been a member of 419 Eater for many, many years. If you're not familiar with the site, it is a site where they deal with Nigerian scammers. Now, the Nigerians have gone a different way now, but for probably over 20 years, let me think. How old am I now? What time is it? Over 20 years, I have been working on scam baiting these idiots. And sometimes it can be the most fun you can have for free, particularly if you get somebody to trot all over Africa after you. You get them to spend their own money, you get them to get a tattoo with some ridiculous slogan on it. It's fun. You're also saving some other poor little sap who's been tortured by these people. The other thing about the scam baiting, I've pretty much stepped away from it now. It always made my husband nervous. He was always afraid somebody was going to come after us, which was pretty silly. But long story short, um, I get them all the time now on Facebook. They have moved into the messengers. They're doing Facebook, they're doing Instagram, they're doing all of that now. And the new thing seems to be look for women of a certain age. And I am a woman of a certain age. I'm 60, retirement age. They try to show up and say, oh my God, you're the most beautiful thing ever. And the profiles say the most ridiculous BS on the planet. And their goal is to separate you from your retirement funds. This is a big problem. This is the area of scam baiting that I moved to some time ago. Actually, I have a website. where it's called Nigerian Romance Scammers, that I've been tracking these guys for ages. And I go ahead and put them up also at the 419 sites. So their information goes on there. Their fake information. So if you really want to delve down a hole of what internet criminality looks like, look at this. Go look at the scam baiter sites. 419 Eater is my favorite one. Shiver Me Timbers has the funniest bait of all times listed there. His bait has to do with, oh, I wish I could remember the name of it. But basically, he tells a scammer that he wants a big bust of himself, a big wooden bust constructed. He gets the scammer to make the bust and mail it to him, and then he proceeds to mess with the scammer. He does stuff like he photoshops up a picture of a squirrel eating the bust and then says, "You've imported this dangerous creature from Nigeria. Oh my goodness, you're in trouble with the British government." And it goes on from there with him faking documents like invoices from the Klingon delivery service. It is just the funniest. So remember again, go ahead and document all the harassment, all the emails, all the hack attempts that you can. It doesn't, you don't need to write it down in a notebook like I'm doing. I only do that because I'm old school. I like paper and pen. I know that's passe these days, but I like the action of writing it down, which is why when I'm taking notes before I'm about to write something, I do the laborious writing it down by hand. So that's what I do. And I also have, like I said, I have a file with the same information set up with screenshots and headers. Somebody did try to hack me twice this week on my Twitter. But here's the interesting thing. When I started having extreme problems with Ms. KJ, and I started getting a lot of this in my public email box that I've never gotten before. Like I said before, it's just a couple of, I was getting a couple of emails about from actual Nigerian scammers who are going, dearest beloved, I am the only child of General Obogo, and he's left me 25 million. If you can help me get the money, I'll give you some of it. Those were the only kinds of spam emails I used to get. Sometimes I would get emails from places I bought things in the past, spam emails. But that's it. It's like almost nothing in my spam box ever. And then Katie happens, and I'm suddenly flooded. Now, I'm not saying Katie is doing this, but it does seem suspicious that all of these hack attempts, these attempts to send me a virus, started the moment I started telling her that I thought she sucked. Like I said, I don't know if she's behind it. I do believe there is some kind of link, whether it's people doing it for her that she's hired or people messing with her who are doing it. But whoever, where this failed is like I said, when I started having problems with her, I purchased a server. I got an all new email box for business. For it. My publisher has it. My agent has it. Various lawyers of mine have it. Nobody else. And then I have a personal one that is also on the same server that is family. Family has it. And super close friends. And that's it. And those are what's linked to all my social media now. So whoever tried to hack me on Twitter twice this week made the mistake of trying to go into my Twitter account, hey Catherine, by the only information they had was my Twitter name. They didn't know what email address I had used. They had no idea what my phone number is, which one of my many phone numbers here is legitimate, and they didn't have my physical address. They had no information to go on, just the Twitter name. So of course I get a message in the correct email box saying, someone has requested a new password for your Twitter account. If this was you, click here. Got a pile of those this week, which, like I said, was sheer comedy because there's no way they could know those. This is all very privated, confidential information that is hidden in my Costa Rican LLC, which is also hidden because, like I've said, Costa Rica does pretty much the same thing that Cayman Islands, the Grand Cayman Islands do. They protect their people who are investors. There's no investor list that anybody could access or pay for. So whoever's doing this, they are way out of luck. They're just going to keep frustrating themselves. But again, if you're having problems with her, I would recommend doing just what I did. Do a log. Keep it all, keep track of it. Maybe at some point there'll be a class action lawsuit if it turns out that all of this resolves to her. Who knows? Who knows what will happen? But it seems to me that Emily is right. This is a very smart thing you can do. Okay, I'm going to run off because it's getting darker here and it's getting darker out there, and I'm losing the light. We have not had power much of the day here because we're in the trade wind season. And when the trade wind season happens, we get high winds, no rain, high winds, and it kills your internet and it kills your electricity. I spent a lot of the day with my Kindle in my hand and my Inca Cola laying down outside. Yes, I think once this gets all traced, whoever is doing this nonsense is going to have find themselves in a world of hurt. We may even see like federal charges going to yeah, happy Friday without a crystal ball to imitate BXB's Boy's imitation of her husband singing the same song. It's so silly. It's so silly, but I love it. I love it, love it, love it. So you guys all have a great Friday. I'm getting ready to go look at Carolyn Iron Will's stream tonight where she's going to do her cleansing and protection ritual because I'm a big believer of that, even though I am a Christian mostly. I am a big believer in protection rituals and invoking the name of the Lord and doing all kinds of stuff. Yeah, Crabby. My husband hates it when I start singing that stupid song, but it's just stuck in my brain so bad. I've watched BX Beast Boy too many times. Um, Here's the funny thing. I've had voice lessons. I've sung opera. I've sung on worship team. I've sung professional, semi-professionally for years. And every time I start busting out that crystal ball imitation, I can hear all the mistakes I'm making, and it's like, ugh. But that is the point. The point is how tuneless it is. Poor Todd. So full of fail. Todd, do us all a favor. Reel your girl in, find a job. Because lying on the internet is not it. It's not mentally healthy for anybody. So you guys have a good evening. I'm finished talking about without a crystal ball. Wow, that's low. And Good Friday. He only did it for a little while, Toad's Wild Ride. He sang it for a little while in the intro, and it was pretty bad. I understand trying to come up with the talent you've gotten. Man, it was one of the things I did in college was I sang all these horrible, horrible, horrible radio tags. It was awful, but it paid the bills. Y'all all stay safe.